One of my very important decisions in my life was to try to live in Italy, you know, and as I at first in my childhood I never thought about Italy, nor did I as a student, because Italy was the country, the holiday country of my parents, and it was rather clear that I would not go to the holiday country of my parents. I used to make trips around Europe, from Russia to Spain to Ireland to Sweden, but the time went by. I had a friend who had bought a house in Italy and invited me. This was in the early 80s of the last century, and the strange thing was I fell in love with this country and with the inhabitants and the nature and the temperamento and the temperature, because it's rather warm here. Well, and summed up, after some searching around in the middle of Italy, the southern part of Tuscany and the northern part of Umbria, I found a house, a farmhouse, and I bought it. I gave the owner a so-called capara, which means a certain amount of money I put on the table in order to show my serious interest for this farmhouse. It's Casa Simoncelli near Lake Trasimeno. Lake Trasimeno, where Hannibal and his elephants had a little trip there some years ago. And when I bought the house, I found out that I liked it even more and more in the years following, in the following years from 80 up to now. And as I only wanted to spend the holiday time, I tried to find some use for the house. So I found out it could be a sort of seminar house. And in these years, it was in the 85, 86, I tried to find groups which are interested in spending a week or two in the house. Well, and then it went quite, or it developed quite well, that after a certain time of beginning and problems of beginning, the situation was established. How should I say? I found a young lady doing the job of administration and the job of keeping the house in a good state, and as time went on, 5 years ago I was pensioned, and now I'm living here in Italy for half a year, from May to October, and the other half in Berlin. And it's always a big contrast between these two countries. Germany, a big city like Berlin, and this landscape of Umbria, the green heart of Umbria, with very many mountains and quite a few people, not so many as in Tuscany, and that's the main point, not so many tourists. And that's why I am very much attracted by this countryside, where the nature is one of the main issues. Living there, the nature with plants and animals, for example, which do not exist anymore in Germany, as the so-called, it's the Wiedehopf in German, and in Italian it's the, I forgot the name.
And you have something, you are integrated in Italian society?
Yes. I tried then to offer also the house to Italian groups, which sometimes is a little bit difficult, because of their understanding of making holidays, because it's more or less German culture of mixing the holidays together with the so-called education, further education of something. Further education for elder people, also for pensioned people. They are going to do some courses in my house, painting, sculpturing, yoga, and so on and so on. More or less cultural, artistical events, and it works quite well. And the integration of my person in the village is founded since years and years, because I speak the language more or less, but I try to have or to stay in a good contact with the people around. There are some very few peasants, quite a few. Agriculture exists, but it's not that intensive as it was. It was more or less tobacco industries, so-called tobacco plants, and olive trees, and it's not that much what you can expect there. And well, that's the way now this house, Casa Simoncelli, is going to enjoy me, my family, and the friends of mine and other groups for years and years, and I hope I will do it for another decade. Who knows, who knows. Thank you very much indeed.